Guys, we'll open up for questions.
Can we make a comment on each of the three kids, the seniors, what they've meant to you?
Well, it's it's a hard day because, you remember them coming in, I remember them watching them play in high school and Michael at junior college. And, you see their growth, not only in the basketball court, as people. You see the opportunities they're now getting. You think about all the players they had to go against and you shake your head and say, how'd they survive? And they're all three gonna graduate. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's there to see their families tomorrow and last game in Rupp, there'll be, emotions will run high.
Okay, you haven't really had three seniors in the rotation the entire time you've been here. Does that make a difference to have that many veterans?
Yeah, and we need them to play well, and that's what they're doing right now. It takes it off those seniors or the freshmen who are, sometimes in and out. This stuff's hard here. I mean, and sometimes you go down based on your focus and your work, and then it takes you time to come back from that. And if you have a senior who gets it and can step in and take the load off you for a while till you figure things out, it's always good.
You gotta look at each individual senior. What is the one thing you remember most about each one of those individuals?
It's just a lot. I can't tell you just one thing. I mean, Michael hadn't been here as long as Derek and Dominic, but, the experience of what they've been through here, they probably walk away from here, other than maybe a Darius Miller, but Darius didn't play 4 years for me. They walk away from this thing being able to take stuff with them, and especially Dom and Derek, they're fan favorites because they're from Kentucky. But even Michael, they're all three playing their best of their careers right now, and trying to build on that for them, and hopefully they finish that way.
Derek said you helped him, he said, turn his life around in some ways by demanding some things of him that he didn't want to do, that he didn't like, and that you pushed him a little bit.
And I think the whole staff, I don't want to take more credit than I'm due, but I would say the bar it's high here, and there's an expectation, yet we don't throw kids under the bus. Kids do stupid things. My own children do stupid things, and they're not getting thrown under the bus. We don't do it here. Try to get them to grow from every experience, and you look at these players, those three seniors, and they've all grown. I mean, there are times, we believe in them at some point in their careers more than they believe in themselves. And we believe they can do more than they believe they can do. And when you get them to bounce through that, they have that kind of response that he had, which is, I never thought I would do this, and it changed me and all that, but it's just, holding the bar.
I remember when, at the state tournament that year, when you were watching Dom play, what did you see then that you think of, he can play for me, and just about his progress to this point? What do you see in him now?
Well, you saw a guy that wasn't afraid of the moment, and you walk in that building, and those events, that's a big deal now. And if you grew up in this state, and you're in Rupp Arena, and you're playing at the end of the season, and you're making plays, and you're not afraid, it means you can play here. This isn't for everybody, and you saw that in him. And Derek, it was a potential of, oh my gosh, this young man here, the length, the ability to shoot the ball, the skill set, we just got to pull this all together. And look, every kid is on a different timetable here. We haven't had every player leave after 1 year. And the only thing that's been tough for me is to convince kids that you're not going to leave after a year. that it's okay. Like, it's okay. Well, I thought I was gonna leave in a year. What? Who told you that? Where? What delusional person put that in your ear? So that's the hardest thing. These three came in knowing what they want to do, and I think all three of them will play professionally if they choose to do that. They're gonna have opportunities. We had one of the GMs from Australia come in and was looking at Derek and Dom and, Isaac and so Michael. But it's, and then opportunities from there. You get into this thing professionally and then other things break. I mean, you get opportunities you never thought you would have. But the good news for all three of them, they're gonna have college degrees too, to go along with it. And I just, again, for those three to finish this thing and have a good run at the end where they walk away fulfilled in every front is what you would want. But I'm happy for all three of them, really.
Cal Dom said he was scared to death, was his word, before you stuck him in there to defend Russ Smith in the Sweet 16, and you told him just chill and go play, and then obviously he had those three great defensive games. Do you remember that moment, knowing that you were going to call him in, sort of tap him?
I remember the Michigan game before that, where we stuck him in to guard the shooters, and he went in and locked him down, and the way he's been playing now, just fight, battle, he'll forget stuff. What did that? He'll go, oh. But what are you gonna say with a guy that's diving all over the floor, taking charges, sticking his nose in, coming up with balls that he shouldn't come up with, making layups and runners and not afraid to play? And it's, he's built his own self-confidence, and he's built that through practice. And he's another one. Think of the guys he's played against every day. I mean, there's, it's, woo.
If you hadn't been out in the NIT that year to be at the state tournament to watch Don, do you think he still ends up here?
I believe so, and the only thing is I hate to take guys sight unseen. Every time I've done that in my career, I've been wrong. So I'm like gun shy about that. Even here I did it once, and it was a mistake. So, by seeing him, it cemented it for me. And I had heard all kind of good stuff, all the guys telling me. And then when you meet him, you're just like, wow, just a humble, smart, great teammate, polite, great human being.
What do you think it says about Dom and Derek's fight? They were talking about how they weren't scared to transfer out in this world of one and done and all the guys that they stuck it out for 4 years.
I think, again, you have guys that come in and understand what this is. And those two understood it. So, Michael, this is not easy. It's not for everybody. Is this what you want before you come in? And if it is, then you'll stick it out. If you're delusional, sometimes you'd say, I thought I'd be, what? I mean, there's no magic wand here. I mean, this isn't, not every kid is gonna, within 6 months, be all this and this. Sometimes it takes guys longer. You try to talk, we got a couple guys on this team. It's gonna take you a little longer. Are you willing to work? Or you think I'll run and it'll happen for me somewhere else? Okay, that's what you believe, but I think, again, when you're talking those two, they were also from Kentucky. I mean, this was probably their dream. I don't know if anyone asked that question, but I would imagine that was their dream, to play for us here. So.
John, with Dom and Derek being in-state players, do you as their coach, do you feel any extra pressure, desire to see them succeed? What's going through your mind?
Well, you care about every kid in the program, and you want them all to be the best version of themselves. And what I can tell you about those two is right now they've never, and I said it this morning in a meeting with them, they've never played better in their careers as they're playing right now. And I could say the same for Michael. And that's what you want as a coach. And, you want them to be ready for opportunities when they have to wait You know, you want them to learn about leadership, servant leadership. You want them to share, to give up something so someone else can have something, you know, and they embody that. And, you know, I feel pressure that for each of these kids, not just two or not just seniors, I mean, every one of them.
It's not always made it a policy to start your seniors and senior day. Looking at where you are with the standings, will these three guys start tomorrow?
Yeah, I always start the seniors.
How dangerous is Vandy? John?
Very dangerous. I've watched tape. I watched it Saturday after the game, and I watched it yesterday, and I watched it today, and they're playing their best basketball. They're making shots. They're cutting hard. They played us all zone last time, and now they're not playing zone at all. They struggled defensively, and they're not now. I mean, you know, I tell you, they're playing, and they're playing together, and they figured it out. And it's like every team we play. They just all of a sudden they're playing ball, and then they play us. I mean, so.
They feel like they have something to play for. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not house money, so how?
I would say it's not, but they may play it that way, and if they do, you'll know. You'll say, oh, these dudes are playing like it's house money, even though there's something at stake. I think, again, they're an NCAA tournament team. They're gonna probably win a couple games, but I would say they're an NCAA tournament team. They will have the #1 schedule in the country at the end of the regular season. #1.
Cal, talk about your tweet about anxiety, you waking up 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, last couple of days, my mind's been racing, and I kind of jumped up, and I told the staff that, and Eric and my wife said, what do you have, anxiety? And I just laughed. I said, no, I don't have anxiety, I give anxiety. And then Kenny Payne was laughing. He said, I woke up in the middle of the night yelling at Bam. I said, all of us are losing our minds right now. You know, as you go through this consumes you. I know, you know, people know I do other things. I have to, because I'll wake up at 3 in the morning if I'm not. My mind's got to be consumed with some other stuff, not just basketball. Because even when I'm sleeping, that stuff happens. Why didn't he rebound? Where am I? I mean, so we just put it out because we laughed.
How do you expect?
Last
Derek
question.
back tomorrow night?
What's that?
Do you hear
I have no idea. I haven't seen it. This morning he was in the meeting, but I didn't ask him. So we'll see. Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks.